Hey guys, it's Dan Wolf. Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to bring you in and show you a speed build real quick of Bearpaw Cafe. Now, one of the things about this build, I think everybody was, there was a lot of people saying, oh man, this could be, you could have like a big outdoor balcony with tables that kind of overlook the mine and all that. Well, the thing about it is, like, once I really got in here and started building, this wasn't a large space. Like, for some reason, in my head, I was thinking that this area was like gonna house this huge sit-down restaurant, reservations only. There was gonna be like a 2-hour wait just to get a table. And, once you're actually in here on the ground and you're kind of competing with the pathway and the railroad and Barnstormer, you kind of get to looking and you're like, man, this is not as much space as I was like envisioning in my head when this first started. So I definitely had to scale this back a little bit, but I think it works out as an awesome little quick service restaurant. You can still go in and sit down if you want, or you could take your food outside. You could walk it, just like totally leave the area with it. It is like, I would think of more of like a Casey's Corner, hot dogs, fries, maybe some little corn nuggets, onion rings, fountain drinks, stuff like that. I don't think this is going to be like a set down where you're like ordering steak or, you're like getting something like that. I think this is definitely going to be a more quick option. Now, as far as the theming goes, I think we nailed it. I think this is just really, really goes with the Grizzly Gulch flow vibe. Definitely feels like this restaurant is 100% believable in this land. It took a little bit to kind of, make it stand out like I want it to, like make it pop. And that just, like I've always kind of told you guys, just layering, clutter, clutter, clutter. I am a big proponent of throwing spaghetti at the wall and just, seeing what sticks. And that's just kind of, that's kind of what worked with this project as well. Just, I think the building itself, the roof lines weren't that important for believability. I think we've got good scale, like as far as, watching the little guests walk by and stuff. Very believable scale. My problem was just I needed it to really, invoke that rustic feel that is Grizzly Gulch and kind of what the whole area represents as far as this side of the park goes and Wilderness Springs. I mean, of course, one could argue the entirety of Wilderness Springs is rustic, but you have to admit the Grizzly Gulch area, it kind of has its own flair. It's almost like it has its own style of rustic. It's not like a kind of like like the water park and the main area of Wilderness Springs is kind of like rustic generic. Grizzly Gulch kind of has its own vibe going over here. And I think that was just kind of really important to capture with a signature quick service restaurant in the land. And love these animated doors. Somebody said they wish we could scale those, that, you all would use those a lot more. I 100% agree with that. I really wish we could scale those doors, but these work out good. And it's almost like believable because, sometimes you'll go into a theme park and even little quick services like this, for whatever reason, they may shut them down for the day, or they just might not be open for a particular set of time. And I figure that these big doors could be closed if they decide not to open Bearpaw until, like, say maybe later in the afternoon or something like that. This might just not be one of those establishments that's open at 10 o'clock in the morning. It just might not have that vibe. And so that's what I kind of thought was cool about leaving the big Viking, if you will, animated doors open. Another thing, a little small landscaping package, nothing too major. We incorporated some rocks, some roses, a little bit of foliage, brought some barrels in here. And but the one thing that I really need you guys to help me with, and I know this is probably going to be really embarrassing, nobody's using the restaurant. I have not had one guest use it. And just doing a quick kind of Reddit and Google search, everybody was saying, do you have the guest needs on as far as thirst and hunger goes? And I didn't, but so, I read that and I'm like, okay, well, that'll probably fix it. Let me go in and turn that on. But turning that on, nobody's going to the restaurant either. So, when we jump over here to the real time here in a minute or so, let me just kind of show you all what I have. And I know you guys are always good about catching stuff. Maybe something will stick out to you and you guys will be like, Dan, you idiot, you have to do this. That's why nobody's using it. Even from right here, I moved the like the kitchen area to the front of the building. I made sure the paths connected. I turned on the guest needs with hunger and thirst. I've done every little kind of click on thing I know to do, but nobody is buying anything from the restaurant or coming in here and sitting down. So maybe there's something you all could tell me that I'm doing weird, that, can actually make people come in and eat, because I think it's a wonderful little pass-through area. I think, us leaving this open, and I even turned the price down because the price kind of, everything starts out at like $23.50. I put everything at $5 to see like, okay, maybe that's why they're not buying. It's too expensive. But I can't get anything to work. I made sure the tables were connected. I thought maybe if there's no connected tables, they won't go in and use it. But my little people are not buying anything from Bear Claw. So if you guys have faced this before, maybe kind of give me a heads up on what's going on, or maybe some possible solutions. Because I am stumped at this point. But anyways, what I was saying is I think this just fits this area perfect. Like, remember, it wasn't just maybe a couple weeks ago, we were toying with the idea of putting a flat ride over here. And I think going with, I think I'm putting like the little bear claw in over the side. I changed this up a little bit too. But I just think that going with the decision to make it a restaurant over here is just, I think it's killer. It fits perfect. The guests flow around it perfect. I even opened up the wall over off to that left side. You'll see, I don't know if I filmed it in the time lapse, but you'll see it in the real time. They can take their food directly outside over at like that little outside seating area if they kind of wanted to sit over there and watch Barnstormer as they're eating, as it's going by. But it kind of stinks a little bit that I am stumped with why they're not actually ordering food. So I don't know, but as far as design goes, very, very happy. I was tickled when I got this done. And it was, it's another one of those things, kind of like the queue of, Grizzly Peak, that it sat there empty so long. When I'm just flying around in the park now, it's just one of those things where I'm like, oh, it's something's there now. It's like just, it's just like one of those things that's, I finally checked off my list that has been sitting empty for so long. But really, really, really proud of this build. And you guys will have to let me know if you want it to just be a standalone restaurant. I could blueprint the design for you, or if you have have Wilderness Springs downloaded, you could come in and take it. But I think maybe I'll get it on the workshop just for my console players, because, a lot of them, like, they can't even get into Wilderness Springs anymore. So a lot of these blueprints aren't accessible to console anymore. So I think I'll get on there and do that this weekend. Maybe after we do our Saturday in the Springs, I'll get the restaurant on there as a standalone so the console players can kind of grab it up as well and maybe use it in your parks. But anyways, let's jump over into the real time as the park sits on May 2nd, and I'll show you how Bearpaw Cafe came out. Hold on one sec. Okay, guys, Future S Dan here. I cannot tell you what I did between the time lapse and here, but people started eating at it now. I honestly cannot tell you what happened. The only thing I really did different between the time lapse and here is I added these little logs and I opened up this wall right here. See how, so people can kind of come out and they can bring their trays right out here, or they can go in and eat. I'm just, you know, if anybody else is having that trouble, I apologize. I do not know what I did to fix this. I honestly don't think I did anything other than maybe close out the game and come back in. The only other thing I can tell you is to go into your sandbox settings like I read and put your hunger need on and your thirst need. Because I did see a couple people say when that happened, when they changed that, people started using the restaurants. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. I don't have any more info. They just started eating all of a sudden, because that was really kind of embarrassing. I'm like, man, I put all this work into this restaurant and I'm going to show everybody and nobody will walk in and use it. But okay, they are now. As of May 2nd, they're using it. So sorry, but this is, this is Bearpaw. Don't you guys think that this ended up fitting on this corner perfect? Like, this is exactly what I was, Barnstormer going by up top. This is exactly what I was envisioning when I was thinking we needed us a little restaurant here on this corner. And like I mentioned back during the time lapse, I am so glad we talked ourselves out of a flat ride here, because this just goes, man. This is just like, it's almost like it has always been there. And remember, this was just a little flat nothing. I just think we did really, really well working with the space we had here. Like I said, it just like, with, you know, still leaving room out on the path, but kind of inviting people in to grab something to eat. It's just cool. Go a little ways down the street and you have Haribo's Saloon, which, you know, it just fits this corner perfectly. Peel off to the right, you have Enchanted Forest. You keep on going, we've got the Phantom Manor down here on your right. So, very, very cool. I'm just, like I said, I am tickled with the restaurant. It is just so cool to see this here now and not have that big flat, just open, nothing piece of land. You know what? I've got some benches over here. You know, just did a little bit of kind of taking these, like these railroad tie pieces and just framed out the, kind of like your little roof line here. And man, it just makes it pop. Like I said, we've got the little dragon claws here. I've kind of using them as my little fake bear paws, which I think bears actually have like, 5 claws, but with this being from the dragon, if you tried to do 5, it actually makes 6. So we're just gonna have to use our imagination, and I've got 4. We'll just pretend like his little thumb or something is hidden. But yeah, you guys will have to give me some feedback on that. I know you guys are gonna like this. Like, this just turned out way, way cooler than I expected. But yeah, that is your new cafe down in here. And for anybody that's new, this whole area, when you come into the main entrance, this is your Grizzly Gulch area. And so it's kind of like this little gulch valley that kind of carves its way through Enchanted Forest and the Phantom Manor. And it kind of ends at this little lake over here. Little creek splitway. And the big e-ticket attraction is Grizzly Peak Mine. So that is our swinging mine train coaster that we've started working on. We actually started a little queue back in here, like a little a little mine village with yours Western pieces. Absolutely incredible blueprints. So we've got this little whole area that's gonna kind of, you know, introduce you and start you to the queue. And now we've got the quick service in. And as you make your way down through here, Phantom Manor is, you know, kind of like the backstory of it is this is the mine owner's manor. So, you know, it's haunted and, you know, it's like an implied dark ride. So that, you know, he's always kind of forever keeping watch on his mine from there. And a lot of creepy happenings over here in Grizzly Gulch once you get back that way. And yeah, that's what I wanted to show you guys. I won't go into too much of a tour because that is what Saturdays at the Spring is for. If you guys go back and look at the playlist, we've got like every Saturday, basically what I do is I jump in and I give new people and the people that have been on board forever, we do a breakdown of what I've gotten done during the week. In Wilderness Springs, because this is our main project right now. This is what I'm solely focused on. So typically all throughout the week, when I get home in the evenings, I come in and tinker with Wilderness Springs, and I thought having Saturday at the Springs is just a good catch up for everybody. Maybe you didn't get to catch all the videos during the week, and you know you're just kind of wanting to see what went on in the park. On Saturdays, we try to jump in and just give you a big overview video of what I messed with and what was new and what's been removed. So very, very fun series. I highly suggest to check it out if you kind of want to stay up to speed on all things Wilderness Springs. But yeah, guys, this is kind of like my late Friday evening video. We'll still get that Saturday at the Springs out, but this is just kind of, this restaurant and this cafe has been, we've talked about it for such a, like really quite a while. I kind of wanted to do its own standalone video to it and just kind of let you guys see how the cafe came to life. And, you know, the next part of its the next part of this project is just really getting in and theming the inside, cleaning all of this up, getting more tables in, you know, getting more artwork in, stuff like that. Just make the inside more believable. So that is probably what's up next when we hit on Bearpaw again. So, yep. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Appreciate you guys stopping by and checking this out. Sorry it's taken so long to get a restaurant in here, but we're making progress. We have got the cafe in now, and this is a massive check off my list. So anyways, guys, give me a big thumbs up if you ended up enjoying this video, and as always, let me know what you think about Bearpaw, and I will catch you guys in Saturday at the Springs. We'll do a big update video tomorrow. So thank you guys. I'll see you next time.